Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Gurave Gauri Chandraya Radhikaye Stadalaye Krishnaye Krishna Bhaktaya Tadbhaktaya Namo Namah. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhuvya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnebhyo namo namah. Samsara dukha jaladasya patitasya kamah krodadinakrumakru kavli kritasya durvasnasya nigritasya nirashayasya chaitanya chandramama dehi padam दिव्यार्विंदन कल्द्रुमदा श्रीमद्रत्नगार सिंहासनस्थो श्री श्री राधा शुलभुविन्दे वायु प्रेष्ठालिभि सेव्यमान स्मरामि श्रीमनरास रसारंभि वंशीवटततस्थिता कर्षन् वेणुसुनिर्गोपी गोपीनाथ चिरसुता भक्त्या विहीनाय अपराधलक्षे क्षिप्तश्च कामादितरङ्गमध्ये कृपामयि तं शरणं प्रपन्ना वृन्दे नुमस्ते चरणारविन्दं वृन्दे नुमस्ते चरणारविन्दम् श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद all together. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidanand Namane Gaur Shakti Sarupaya Rupanugavarayate. Shri Bhajan Rahasya by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Yesterday we started second chapter of Shri Bhajan Rahasya and we heard the glories of Harinama, the secrets of Bhajan, how to get entrance into that realm of sadhan and as well as bhajan. We heard yesterday the difference between sadhan and bhajan. We are striving right now, we are striving to follow the standards of sadhan. But the sadhan itself, when it gets to in a condensed status, it turns to bhajan. That means, and in the stage of bhajan, there is no distractions. In the stage of bhajan, there is only one attraction. Means there's only one center point, that is Krishna. Only one abhinivesh, one absorption. Krishna and Tadiya Vastu. But on the stage of sadhan, instead of attraction towards Krishna, most of the time there are distractions. And that distraction is called Dvitya Vineshata. Dvitya Vineshata. It starts with fear. Bhayam Dvitya Vineshata. How to get rid of this second absorption to bring into the first absorption, means from secondary absorption, things related to material world created by Maya. That means entanglement in three modes of material nature. And then coming to that nirguna state, beyond three modes of nature. So bhajan starts from that state. The practice, all those practices to overcome this state of being in three modes of nature, overcoming that is sadhana. Sadhana means, what is the meaning of sadhana? Focusing on one object, and very well uh, displayed by Arjun when Shri Dronacharya called upon Duryodhan and his brothers, as well as Dronacharya called Pandavas to test, just to test how they can focus on their target. So Duryodhan came with bow and arrow, and Dronacharya told, there's a tree, and on the branch of a tree, there's a bird. So, Duryodhan, tell me, this is your target. You have to shoot the eye of a bird. So, Duryodhan came forward, and Dronacharya asked him, Duryodhan, can you see your target? Yes, Gurudev. So, what you seeing? He said, I'm seeing sky, I'm seeing tree, so many leaves, branches, fruits, flowers, and in the middle of that, bird. And I'm also seeing the eye of a bird. Dronacharya said, okay, fine. Then he called upon Pandavas. Yudhishthir came, Bhimsen came. They're getting more and more focused. Instead of saying sky, tree, leaves, etc. But the important point is when Arjun is being called upon, Dronacharya asked Arjun, what you seeing? And Arjun said, yes, remember this? I explained this earlier. Arjun said, Gurudev, I'm not seeing anything. I'm only seeing the eye of a bird. And Dronacharya said, shoot it. Hmm. And Arjun shoot arrow, it pierced the eye of that not a real bird, but was artificial, some toy kind. This is called first absorption. Whereas other than that is called Dvitya Vinesha. Bhayam Dvitya Vineshata. How to come to that stage of bhajan? This is the secret which Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is teaching us. So reading bhajan rase or hearing bhajan rase is, we have to take this in consideration. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is directly speaking to us. Understand? Like an acharya is sitting and speaking. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, acharya, is sitting and speaking. That speech of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is Shri Bhajan Rase. So we have to take this seriously, that he is teaching to me, he is speaking to me. The secrets of bhajan. Yasyava Shunumayanam Krishna Param Purushe Bhakti Utpatti Pumsam Shok Mo Bhayapaha. Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. When Srila Vyasadeva, he saw in that samadhi, he saw Parampurusha, Krishna endowed with all six opulences. He also saw Maya behind Krishna. He also saw how jivas are entangled in Maya. And he also saw in that Prem Bhakti Yoga. Bhakti Yogena Manasi Samyak Pratyapamale Apashyat Purusham Purna Maya Chat Padashrayam. What he also saw how jivas can come out from the clutches of Maya by taking ashraya, shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, Yasya Vashunamayanam Krishna Param Purushe Bhakti Rutpatti Pumsam Shok Mo Bhaya. Just by hearing the topics of Krishna, just by hearing the topics of Krishna, who is Param Purusha, then what will happen? First manifestation of Prema Bhakti appears in the heart. And because of the Prema Bhakti in the heart, then the secondary absorptions, Shok, Moh, Bhay, lamentation, bewilderment, and fear goes away. That means the bhajan starts with hearing. So this ears is such important. The best limb in the body of the human being, ears, by which we can hear as much as we can the topics of Krishna. Fill the ears with the topic of Krishna, the topics of Krishna. Yasyava Shunamayana, Krishna Param Purushe. And there are many evidences and many verses in Bhagavatam which relate to this. The Shruti Indriya, the ears are so important. The lamentation, fear, bewilderment, everything just disappear. The byproduct of hmm, byproduct of appearance of prema bhakti in the heart. How to make that appearance of that bhakti maharani in the heart? Bhakti maharani is independent. As Shri Krishna is independent, Savatantra, Swatantra, Savatantra Swarat. The first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam starts with Janmadasya yataha anvayad itarishtharthishu abhigya swarat. He is independent, his swarat. Similarly, his bhakti, the Maharani, is also independent, his swarat. Just 2 days back, here in one house program, I was relating to this. How amazing and contradictory it is. We want to become controllers, but we can't control anything. We can't even control our thirst. We need some drink, some water to quench our thirst. When we are hungry, it's like fire in the stomach and we want to grab anything. If we want to sleep, if we are tired, we want to sleep, we can't control our sleep. And we claim we are controllers. We can't control the basic necessities. We can't control the urges of the senses and mind. And we claim to be controllers. And no one wants to become controlled. No one. You know, that's a nature. I don't want to get controlled by anyone. I just want to be independent. So I want to become independent. and I want to become controller. But whereas I'm not independent and I'm not controller. Who is independent and who is controller? Bhagavatam claims Abhigya Swarat. Krishna is controller and Krishna is independent. But amazingly, that Krishna who is controller, he wants to get controlled willingly by his sweet desire. One who is actually controller, he wants to get control. One who is independent, he happily, willingly want to become dependent. Understand? But only with the only with bhakti yoga, with no other means. Na sadhyeti mam yogo, na sankhya dharma uddava, na yogas tapas tyago, yatha bhaktir mamorjita. Not with yoga, not with karma, not with jnana, not with any other practices, but only with bhakti yoga. One who is, again, I'm repeating this, one who is controller, he want to get controlled. One who is independent, he wants to become dependent. And on the contrary, we are not controller, but we claim to become controller. And we don't want to become controlled. We are not independent, we are dependent. Whereas we want independence all the time. So Krishna, Param Purushe, only by bhajan one can control in a lovingly, happily mood. One can control Krishna, who want to get control. So Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his commentary on the second text, he started with Bengali couplets, we say verses. अनेक लोकरे वांछा अनेक प्रकार कृपायते करेले अनेक नामेर प्रचार खायते शुयते यथा तथा नाम लय देश काल नियम नहीं सर्व सिद्धि है सर्व शक्ति नामे दिला करिया विभाग अमार दुर्देव नामे नहीं अनुराग श्री चैतन्य महाप्रभु second verse of Shikshashtakam we heard yesterday नाम नाम अकारी बहुधा निज सर्व शक्ति तत्रार्पिता नियमते स्मरणे न काला एतादृशी तव कृपा भगवान ममापि दुर्देवी विहि दिशा जानी नानुरागा Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur so expert. That's why in these books of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur like Shri Bhajan Rase, Chaitanya Shikshamrit and especially Shri Jaiv Dharma, we see how he is simplifying those very difficult and typical Sanskrit verses into Bengali couplets. We say Bengali pyar verses so that we can easily understand the same mood of second verse of Mahaprabhu, Shishtastakam. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur is composing in Bengali. अनेक लोकेर वांछा अनेक प्रकार कृपाइते करेले अनेक नामेर प्रचार खाइते शुइते यथा तथा नाम लय देश काल नियम नहीं सर्व सिद्धि है सर्व शक्तिर नामे दिला करिया विभाग अमार दुर्देव नामे नहीं अनुराग अमार दुर्देव अमार दुर्देव अमार दुर्देव. The meaning here is in Shri Bhajan Rahasya Vritti means a commentary of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. The innumerable people in this material world have many different kind of desires. Many kind of people. Many kind of people means many kind of people with different consciousness. And according to their consciousness, they have different desires. So, in some people, consciousness, mode of ignorance is very prominent. There's another section of people where mode of passion is very prominent. And there are some people in whom mode of goodness is prominent. Whereas they also have other modes of nature. Saturgun, Tamogun, and Rajagun. Goodness, passion, and ignorance. So according to the consciousness of people, they have many different kind of desires. And the criteria of those desires depends on their consciousness. So mode of ignorance is more gross in nature. Understand? Gross and subtle. Those who are in a mode of ignorance, their consciousness very gross in nature. Those who are mode of passion, their consciousness is less in gross in nature and little subtleties are also present. But in a mode of goodness, the consciousness is more in a subtle and less gross. Gross is also there because the mood of sense enjoyment is there. So mood of sense enjoyment is not only with the senses, it also comes with the mind. You know? Just like, for example, I'm taking one rasgulla in a meeting. And another example is rasgulla is not in front of me, but I'm meditating on rasgulla, and with my mind, I'm meditating and relishing and tasting that rasgulla. So enjoyment with the mind. That's subtle in nature. And enjoyment with practical eating or whatever nature it is gross in nature. So these are different kind of consciousness of people. Gross, very gross. But those who have little maturity, they cross that gross state and comes to the subtle state. And that's why they have far vision. More subtle consciousness, more far vision. More gross consciousness, narrow vision. Just narrow vision. Not means more gross in nature. So that's what Srila Bhakti Thakur is saying. Many people in this material world have many different kind of desires. And we heard this according to their consciousness, gross and subtle. Even so, Bhagwan is supremely merciful and appears in this world as his different names to fulfill these various desires. Bhagwan come in many forms. Merciful, he comes in many incarnations. Manvantar avatars, Guna avatars, Shaktavesh avatars, Purush avatars, Leela avatars, Shri Ram, Shri Krishna. Shri Ram came in this Chaitra Mas. We just observed Ramanami. Shri Krishna appeared in Bhadra Mas. Shri Ram appeared in Chaitra Mas Navami, Ram Navami, right? And Sita Devi also appeared in Navami, Sita Navami, going to come soon. Whereas the other couple, means Radha Krishna, Krishna came in Bhadra Mas. And which Tithi? Krishna Ashtami, and Radharani also appears in Vistiti, Saptami, Shashti, Nami, Radha Ashtami. Understand? Maryada Purushottam Shri Ram appear as in, he chose this, he himself chose this Tithi, Navami. So Sita Devi also appeared in Navami. Shri Ram appeared in Abhijit Murat, and Shri Krishna also appeared in Abhijit Murat. But Shri Ram appeared in midday when full sun is in an extreme effulgence, and Shri Krishna came midnight when Chandra, moon is on his origin. And similarly, Shri Narsingh Bhagwan and other incarnations. So there are so many incarnations. So Bhagwan is supremely merciful. That's why we call Bhagwan as Karuna Sindhu, Dina Bandhu, because he's of being very, very, and very merciful in nature. So as he comes in different incarnations, he also appears in this world with different names to fulfill these various desires. Bhagavatam claims, Akamo sarva kamova moksha kam udarihi tivrena bhakti yogena yajanti purusham param. Anyone who approach me with desire, or anyone approach me without any desire, nishkam, or if anyone approach with desire of liberation, I am the one who assign different boons, and I am the one who fulfill all their desires. Akamo sarva kamo, any kind of desire. Moksha kam udarihi. Who can give moksha? Who can give mukti? Demigods? No. Mujkundu Maharaj asked for mukti from demigods. They raise their hands. They say, no, we can't do this. Khatwang, King Khatwang, he asked mukti from demigods. But demigods became nervous. No, we can't do this. We can't give this. We can't grant mukti. Who can grant mukti? Mukti dadati iti mukunda. Only Bhagwan can grant mukti, liberation. No one else can. And about Nishkam Bhaktas, all those who worship demigods, they're always Sakam Bhaktas. They worship particular demigods because of their different desires. And Bhagavatam first canto also says, anyone who want a handsome husband, beautiful wife, they worship Parvati Mahadev, and different categories. We see in Bhagavatam, if you want knowledge, you worship him. If you want to be strong, different varieties. So anyone who approach with desires, they approach demigods. And that's why Sud Goswami, after uh, completing this, the session of you desire and you worship that particular demigod, after this he said, Akamo sarva kamova moksha kam udari. Krishna said, if you come to me with desire or without desire, on the desire of mukti, I'll fulfill all. I'll grant everything. So those who are sakam, they approach demigods. In the category of Sakam Bhakta, we see Dhruv Maharaj, explained by Shri Rupa Goswami. But even Dhruv Maharaj, when he saw, when he's adoring the beauty of the Lord, who's standing right in front of him, Dhruv Maharaj is giving us one great lesson here to all of us, to all sadhakas. What Dhruv Maharaj is saying, Sthan avilashi sthiti tapasya ham tam praptavan dev murindra priyam kacham vichinvya api divya ratnam swami kirtartva asmi varam nayachi. Swami kirtartva asmi varam nayachi. I came in this forest for broken pieces of glass. Not even glass, broken piece of glass. So he's comparing what to broken pieces of glass? What? Why Dhruv Maharaj came to forest? To worship Krishna? No, he came with desires. And the desire was, I want to sit on that throne where never any of my ancestors had ever sat before. That means he wants to sit on a throne. Who's his ancestors? His father Utanpad, his father Swambhu Manu, his father Brahma. So he's, in other words, minimizing, or he's considering that throne of Brahma is also as broken pieces of glasses. Imagine, Brahmaji is creator, and Brahmaji is the one who knows all Vedas, and Krishna comes in every day of Brahma. There's so much opulence of Brahmaloka. But Dhruv Maharaj is comparing the throne of Brahma as broken pieces of glass in comparison with Divya Ratnam. Oh Lord, I'm seeing you and I'm adoring your beauty. You are like a Divya Ratnam, the most valuable jewel. And everything else, second absorption, Dvitya Vinesh, is what? Broken pieces of glasses. This is a matter of prioritizing. How we prioritize our consciousness, our lifestyle, and our desires. What is my priority? In our daily schedule, because we have to maintain our body and education, work, situations, and etc. And because we are in society, we have to follow some duties. But even after going along with all this, what is the priority of my day? What is the priority? I'm waiting for the next day to come as soon as possible because I've completed my sadhan, which is hearing Hari Katha, chanting, remembering, worshipping my deities, reading Bhagavatam, hearing Bhajan Rahasya, and all other. When day comes to end and everyone goes to rest, the sadhaka awaits for the next day to come as soon as possible. When it's going to be 4 a.m. again, I will start my chanting. With that chanting, I go around all the holy places and I will serve at the samadhis of my Gurudevs, my acharyas. I will go and serve Shri Mayapur Dham. I will go there with my mind to serve Shri Vrindavan Dham. So a sadhaka, a bona fide, a serious, sincere practitioner awaits for the next day to come soon. Because sleeping is again a mode of ignorance. But there's so much required. If you don't sleep, what will happen? Finish. Can't even chant for the next day. Yeah. Can't chant for the next day. Eating is very important. If we fast, bas, finish. So weak, we can't even hear Hari Katha, we can't speak Hari Katha. That's why we say, oh, Radha Rani is very merciful. Why? Because Radhashmi we don't fast. And the Abhishek of Radharani takes place in Barsana. It's early morning, Brahmurata. That's the time when Vishwabhanu Maharaj he received Radharani on the lotus flower. So therefore, feast start from early morning breakfast, then lunch, then evening is big feast. Yes, but also Ramnavami. It's also better. We only fast till 12 midday. Yeah, I can control that. 12 is no issue. Then Narsimha Bhagan. Oh, sunset. Mahaprabhu Gaur Purnima. Also sunset. And Krishna. Oh, it's too much. 12 midnight. Everything is fine. We can manage till 5, 6, 7. After 7, the body start demanding. What are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? That's Janmashtami. And then there is Nirjal Ekadashi. After Janmashtami, there is Charnamrit, which has ghee, honey, milk, yogurt. It's very delicious. But Nirjal Ekadashi, how I'm going to spend whole night without drinking and eating? So difficult. So that's our status. Just one day without eating and sleeping, we feel no energy. So sadhaka waits for the next day to come so that I can start my seva with my mind, with my body for the next day. So Bhagwan is supremely merciful and appears in this world as different names to fulfill these various desires. Dhruv Maharaj, he compared Bhagwan as valuable jewel. Seeing him and rest other is just broken pieces of glasses. But just seeing Bhagwan, is that enough? No. Then Gaudiya Vaishnava philosophy explains Krishna is not the Prayojan. Even seeing Krishna is not the Prayojan, means the ultimate goal. Krishna Prema is the ultimate goal, means the service. This is another kind of desire. So if someone asks this question, why Krishna, okay, we understand you gave us this human body, we are thankful to you. And many people, they are even thankless and ungrateful. But amongst those who are still feeling gratitude and thankful to Krishna, you gave us this human body with higher consciousness, not like animal consciousness, but higher consciousness, to understand high topics, to understand the subtle domain. to overcome the gross plane and to enter into that subtle plane. We are very thankful for that. But what is the purpose of that human body? The purpose is only one. Ekla Ishwa Krishna Arsab Mritya. Only Krishna is Supreme Lord and I am His servant. To achieve the service of Krishna is the aim and object of not sadhaka, but the aim and object of human being. Save pumsa paro dharmo yatha bhakti adhokshaje. Save pumsa, for every living entity. Paro dharma, only one. Paro dharma, only one dharma. Yatha bhakti adhokshaje. That's the only one object. One and only one aim and object. All perfection is attained by Harinam, even if it is chanted. खाइते शुइते यथा तथा नाम लय देश काल नियम नहीं सर्व सिद्धि है. How merciful is the names of Krishna, that all perfection is attained. Perfection means, I just told, perfection is not to see Krishna. The perfection is to attain the service of Krishna. So all perfection is attained by Harinam, even if it is chanted while eating, drinking, sleeping, or even moving about. And desh kal niyam nahi sarva siddhi hai, nor are place, time, rules, and so forth considerations while chanting. No consideration of time, place, rules, regulations can be by eating, sleeping, or even moving about. Kali Kale Nam Rupe Krishna Avatar. In this Kali Kal, the age of Kali, Iron Age, Krishna incarnated himself as his own name. Therefore, Abhinatva Nama Namani, non-different. Now, all perfection is attained by Harinam. All perfections. Anyone who is in the mode of ignorance can also perform bhakti. Anyone who is in the mode of passion can also perform bhakti. Anyone who is in the mode of goodness can also perform bhakti. Proof, the prayers of Devhuti. She Devhuti, when she asked these questions to Kapil Bhagwan is giving this. Abhisandhaya yo damba matsarjam heva elovava. Those who are worshipping me with matsarja, envious mood, with arrogant mood, their mode of ignorance. Vishya Sandhaya, one who is worshipping me with getting their desire fulfilled, they are worshipping in the mode of passion. And those who are worshipping me to get mukti, they are worshipping in the mode of goodness. So this means bhakti can be performed in a mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness. Yes. Whereas Bhakti Maharani, Bhakti Devi, she never touches the three modes of nature. She always remains pure and beyond three modes of nature. That's the nature of Bhakti Maharani. Always beyond three modes of nature. Then why she give this touch to three modes of nature to facilitate those people with the consciousness in the mode of ignorance, passion, and goodness. To facilitate them, she descend from her level of being nirgun state to help and facilitate those who are in ignorance, who are in passion, and who are in goodness. And no harm come to Bhakti Maharani. She always remained pure and nirgun. And Jiva Goswami Pad giving this example in Bhakti Sandarbha, saying just like Vaman Bhagwan, he is known as Upendra. Up Indra. Indra means the king of demigods. And while adding Up with Indra, Up Indra means the younger brother of Indra. So Vaman Bhagwan, he lives in Swarga as a younger brother, known as younger brother of Indra. But is there any harm comes to Vaman Bhagwan getting title that I'm younger brother of Indra? No. He glories. He become more glorious because Indra is in mode of goodness. And Vaman Bhagwan is beyond three modes of nature. So he comes one level down. He descends one level down and considered himself as younger brother of Indra. But he never comes or get entangled in this mode of goodness. He again and he remains same as beyond three modes of nature. Little Siddhanta philosophy. So all perfection. There are many Hindi speaking devotees follow our Zoom and Facebook live. For them, good news. From tomorrow, I'm going to speak Hindi Harikatha also. So I have to change English Harikatha time because this time is suitable for Hindi audience because after this they get midnight. They need to sleep because they have to chant next day. If they can't chant next day, then all blame will come to me. So English time will be, we're going to post on our Harikatha group. तो हिंदी भक्तों के लिए एक शुभ समाचार कि कल से इसी टाइम पर इसी समय पर मैं 1 घंटा हिंदी में हरि कथा बोलूँगा जो भारत में और अलग अलग देशों में कोई हिंदी बोलने वाले समझने वाले जो लोग हैं भक्त लोग हैं उनके लिए इसी समय पर मैं ये जो हमारी कथा चल रही है इसी समय पर मैं हिंदी में हरि कथा कहूँगा और इंग्लिश की हरि कथा फिर बाद में होगी। तो आप लोग को एक जो हमारा ग्रुप है उस ग्रुप में मैसेज दे दिया जाएगा। आप उस ग्रुप में अपने टाइम के अनुसार देख लेना। तो आपका समय इंडिया में लगभग होगा 9:30 से 10:30 बजे शाम रात को 9:30 से 10:30 बजे मैं हिंदी में कथा कहूँगा। इंग्लिश वालों का समय मैं थोड़ा सा बदल दूंगा। Sorry. From tomorrow, this time session when I'm speaking English katha, instead of English, I'm going to speak Hindi. And I will switch over English katha after some consideration. You'll get to know in the group timings. Okay? Because I also have to serve them. As I'm serving English speaking devotees, I also need to serve Hindi speaking devotees because they also serve so much. So I'm little obliged and grateful for their services. I also need to serve them. And this is only way I can serve them far away from everyone. How glorious is Harinam that we can serve Harinam Prabhu while eating, drinking, and sleeping. Can we serve deities while eating? Imagine a pujari. Imagine a pujari if he's eating with his. Of course, one has to eat with right hand. That's the Vaishnava etiquette. One is not supposed to even touch the prasadam plate or cup to drink water with left hand while eating and drinking. One is not supposed to even touch the left hand. It's considered impure. So pujari has to eat with right hand, and while eating, how is going to worship? Deity worship or any kind of decoration, the temple or cleaning the temple. See, can't be done. While you eating, can you read scriptures? When you're eating, your hands are contaminated. How are you going to turn over the pages? But Harinam Prabhu is so merciful. He comes a level down to facilitate us that we can serve Harinam Prabhu even while eating, even while drinking, even while sleeping. Oh, can you chant Harinam while sleeping? Yes, possible. Some devotees, they have this experience, and it's a very wonderful experience. You can practice this. It's a just matter of practice. If we make our tongue all the time vibrating the names of the Lord, means vibrating, chanting Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, then the tongue gets into so much absorption that even while you sleep, this experience of many devotees around the world. Because besides chanting on the beats, they're also in other times of their work and drive, etc., they're keeping their tongue in movement of chanting Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So even if the tongue is not vibrating or moving, even in the mind, if this Ma mantra is constantly moving in the mind, there's some work or there are some places where we can't chant, but in the mind, Ma mantra is resounding. What happens when you go sleep? When you wake up the next day, you realize this that while you're sleeping, Ma mantra is going in your mind. It's the glories of Ma mantra. While eating, otherwise, I'm not saying this. Srila Bhakti Thakur Mahaprabhu is saying, Khaite shuite. Why the word shuite? Shuite means sleeping. This other meaning is while lying down. That's also considered sleeping. If some Mataji, old Mataji say, Maharaj, I cannot sit, that means I cannot chant. Then how they can get perfection or how they can serve Harinam Prabhu? By lying down. Just lying on your sofa, on your bed, you can chant Mahamantra. One person asked question because he was a little handicapped. His right hand is paralyzed. Or we say he don't have right hand. Then he asked this question, can't I chant with my left hand? Because one is only supposed to eat, drink, or chant with right hand. But if someone don't have right hand, is he not qualified or eligible or capable or qualified to chant the names of Lord? Of course, he can do with left hand. Then, in that circumstance, And for instance, a person don't even have two hands. Hmm. How he can chant or she can chant? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Hmm. Can chant with the tongue. So it applies to different people in different circumstances. But dear devotees, try to make this practice to chant Harinam while at your school, college, work. If you where you can't even hold beats in front of people, at least chant in your mind. Yeah. And with the tongue, while driving, etc., while cleaning, etc. That will become habit for the tongue and the mind. So, khayate shuite yatha tatha namalai. Eating, drinking, sleeping, or even moving about. Nor are place, time, rules, and so forth considerations while chanting. So nice. Huh? Because all of Bhagwan's potencies are invested in his names. Nam Nam Akari Bahuda Nij Sarv Shaktis. That's why that's why this name, this Nam, is a seed in which the form, the qualities, and pastimes and parikar are present. That's the seed. The whole tree is present in the seed. The branches, the leaves, the flowers, the fruits, everything just in the seed. But when it ripes, so everything present in the name of Bhagavan, but it all is it's just a matter of realization. When one comes to this stage of Shuddhanam, Yadi Karibe Shuddhanam, Sadhu Sangakar, Bhukti Mukti Vancha, Dure Parihar. Then one see, one feel, one realize, visualize the form, the qualities, the pastimes. And that's why Srila Gurudev used to ask, how many rounds Rup Goswami Pad is chanting? 16 rounds? 10 rounds? 4 rounds? Srila Gurudev used to say. Namacharya Haridas Thakur chanting 300,000 names every day with a vrata, with a promise, with a vow. But Shri Rup Goswami Pad, Hare Krishna, bas, ho gaya. In just one Hare Krishna Samadhi and visualizing the pastimes of Radha and Krishna. And then Samadhi goes for days and days and days and days and weeks. Nobody knows when he come back from his Samadhi. And then another Hare Krishna. Then another Hare Krishna. Not even chanting one round. So this Nam is seed. Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Devotees writing me on in their messages that I should announce for that trip which I'm going to take in October 5, 6, 7, 8. 4 days to Badrinath, which is one of the four dhams, very prominent. The darshan of Shri Nar Narayan Bhagwan, the darshan of Uddhavji, the darshan of Vyasadev, where he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam Katha. And on the way to Badrinath, we are stopping by the place called Shukratal, where Shukdev Goswami, he spoke 7 days Bhagavad Katha on the bank of Ganga, which is only 3 hour drive from capital Delhi on the way to Haridwar. So there are many places and most of our devotees never been to all these places. So it's an open invitation. Uh, let our devotee know about this so we can make comfortable arrangements for everyone. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.